Oh, hello. Yeah, I knew you were there. So today we are tracking down the source of a large squeal, and it's going to be one of three things. It's either the belt, it's either the alternator, or it's the pulley alignment, and or even the pulley itself. The pulley was an original OEM part off of an actual car. Actually, both pulleys were. So we replaced the belt with a brand new fresh belt, still made the same noise. So now what we're going to try is replacing the alternator. Potentially alternators have bearings, and sometimes even if they're not that old, they can go bad. So to eliminate the possibility that it's the alternator, we're going to replace it with another one. Now, the challenge is that the connection point here, as you can see here, for making sure it clears the engine block is not where it is when it comes from the factory or the manufacturer. It's here. The engine block is literally right up against this screw, which means I can't pull it to put the belt on and move it because it's hitting the block. Now, one thing you could do is you could cut the screw. The other thing you can do is what's called clocking. And these cases are specifically designed to be able to be clocked, which basically means we're going to rotate this outside case backing from this position 180 degrees so that instead of this being here, it's over here. Here, over here. So the important thing is not to pull this out, because there's all kinds of stuff contained within the case that if you pull this out, you're never going to get it back together. So there are 4 bolts around the side here. I've already removed those. And now I'm going to do the very delicate operation of just a 1/4 of an inch, maybe even an 1/8 of an inch, just kind of lift and turn and place back in the same position. Now, you can certainly clock to any position you want. If you would prefer to have it over here, you certainly can. I'm doing it as far away from the block as possible. And that's it. Don't lift it up. Don't be curious. Don't peek or try to look in there to see what all kinds of crazy stuff is in there, because you will ruin your radiator. So now we simply replace these bolts back into the case. And when the engine was set up, there was not a separate ground wire on the alternator, so that tab was removed. I'm going to put it back on this one just in case we need it, so that it's already ready to go and we don't have to unscrew anything. So I'm just going to put this here. I'm going to leave that in place for now, because if we determine that the bearings are not bad on the original alternator, then we will just return this one. And there you go. So that is how you clock a alternator. Again, make sure that when you read up on the instructions that for the alternator you're choosing, that it specifically says that it can be clocked this way. This one from Tuff Stuff had very specific allowances for clocking within the instruction that came from the manufacturer, so I know that it's permitted to do. And just make sure that before you go pulling anything apart, that it's designed to actually have this functionality and capability. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it in the engine, and we are going to reconnect the belt and reconnect the cable. We're going to start the engine again and hope that it doesn't make that god-awful noise that it just made about 15 minutes ago. So on to the next adventure.